Oh, we're live. Are we?
I think it's still posted.
It's doing this.
We can't be far away.
I've not got the black screen and the swirly bit yet.
There we go. Hi guys.
Hello.
Hi everyone, and hello again to everyone that was watching the Patreon before.
Yes, if you want to join in next week's Patreon or any other Patreon.
Hey us.
Yeah.
Patreon.com/3Legs4wheels. Did I just stand on your foot then?
Yeah, well, you kicked it. It's fine.
Sorry.
Happens all the time when Dan's here. When Dan's here, we always end up
Playing footsie under the
yeah.
table.
Yeah, I don't think I play footsie with Sean, which is good.
Because there's like the three there, I always catch a foot somewhere. And I'm just a foot slag. I don't even know who I'm rubbing up against.
It's when you reach out and catch mine from all that distance away that worries me.
I'm just like a used up whore now that's looking for any type of affection from any foot.
I have previously kicked my handbag and then gone to apologise to you.
Have you?
Yeah.
I
Like,
don't.
oh,
'Cause
no,
I'm
it's
just
not a
looking for
person, it's a
attention.
bag.
Foot slag is also my new punk band.
Probably noticed Sean is here instead of Dan this week. Get well soon, Mrs. Dan. He's, in his own words, being a nurse.
Yes.
I believe
A night
Mrs.
nurse.
Dan's cold may also be my cold, but
Don't forget that Mrs. Dan is a teacher, so she's exposed to every single germ on the planet.
There's no way to talk about our future generation, Paul.
No.
But the
Well, even the one's been taught by Mrs. Dan.
but if anything happens,
Mrs. Danfire.
but if
oh
anything
no, a new
happens
nickname.
tonight- don't, please don't. If anything happens tonight around the world to any world leaders or anything political, I'm just saying Dan's not here.
Yeah.
I mean, to be perfectly honest, if you are an assassin of world leaders at the minute, it's fucking pick. Just pick one out
It's
of a
busy
hat.
time, isn't it?
You might as well be like a swingers club and just have a load of car keys, each one with another name.
Know how he's saying you hadn't seen Dallas Buyers Club yet? That's what it's about.
Well, they go to the book depository.
Yeah.
Shall we talk about Formula One?
I think
Yeah,
that would probably be a
probably.
good idea.
Thanks for tuning into the YouTube, everyone.
Yeah,
we'll
cheers,
we'll
guys.
join you on the comments after the podcast, but we're going to record a podcast now.
Hi, and welcome to this week's 3Legs4wheels F1 podcast. It's Paul.
Are you
Oh,
pissed?
you put your thumb up. I thought you
To
were
the camera!
Oh,
You're over there!
Right, hang on.
False
What order are we doing?
Paul, Sean, Chris, Lee.
Yeah.
Cool.
Hi, and welcome to this week's 3Legs4wheels F1 podcast. It's Paul here with.
Sean.
Chris.
The man that's incapable of giving a proper thumbs up at beers. Lee!
Hello, everyone.
How are we all doing this week?
Not so bad. How are you?
Sound.
I am horse of throat.
Horse of throat.
Yes.
Animal of anatomy.
That's my new hardcore band.
But other than that, all good.
Good. I can't believe it's like race 21 already. You know what I mean? We're looking at the Abu
nearly
Dhabi Grand
December.
Prix.
It's been the longest F1 season in the history of F1 seasons.
Gone.
And we're at the end of it.
Yeah.
Gone. It's disappeared completely. It's just
So we need more races.
So it doesn't seem like 10 minutes since you were saying that Alfa Romeo might be title challengers this season.
I did say that, and I believe a lot of the podcast agreed with me.
I also
'Cause it
seem
looked
to
like
remember a lot of angst about the lack of Alfa Romeo gear.
Yes.
Yes.
And then it came on sale, and it was like, would you like to remortgage your house to purchase a T-shirt?
Would you like to sell your Alfa Romeo to buy a jacket?
Right now, that's probably a good trade.
You having Alfa problems again?
No, not
Even
again,
your
that's
100% pure cotton Alpha jacket would rust.
fine. Yeah, quite possibly. Yeah.
So yeah, we have the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix this season.
Season.
This weekend. I've got the same thing that
This
Sean's
season.
To be fair, it was still factually correct.
This
Yeah,
se-
this
it was.
season's Abu
This
Dhabi Grand
week.
Prix
This
this weekend.
Yeah.
got.
But not this month.
No.
No, for the first time we're getting an F1 race in December.
Was this the first December race?
Yeah,
Maybe it'll snow.
they made
In
a
the
big thing
desert.
they made a big thing about it at the start of the season 20 minutes ago.
Yeah. last year's Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, there was rain. Was it 2 days before the race or something?
Yeah, it was.
Did it rain on race day?
There was like a spritz, wasn't there? Is that either last year or the year
I
before?
seem to remember some sort of spray coming off cars.
That was mainly fire extinguishers when Hulkenberg was hanging like a cow.
No, they
Yes.
definitely have had a little sort of
Maybe it was a practice session or something
maybe,
like that.
but I'm thinking of the same
sprinkle.
thing you are, but I don't know when it was.
Yeah. So yeah, in the middle of the desert.
Shows how interesting Abu Dhabi is, isn't it?
At some point, it may have once
thing
slightly
is,
rained.
I really like the layout of the circuit and what that. I can't remember his name, but your man who built up the Yas Marina area it's brilliant. You've got the grandstand area, which feels like you're in a stadium almost. I mean, we've all played the PlayStation game at some point. It feels like you're in a stadium when you're on surrounded by these huge tall stands, and then you're out into sweeping turns, and then into another like stadium section.
It's great to play.
It's a great track to play. It should be a great track to drive. But for some reason, it doesn't create great races.
It's because the corners are too tight, aren't they? They go into like hairpins and really tight corners, and it's just impossible to overtake.
Was it a Tilke circuit?
I think so.
I think it's in F1. It's got
Yeah.
And is this the 10th running of the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix?
I
seem to have
think
read.
God,
this
it
is
can't
the
be
11th.
that many.
I
The
think
11th
2009 was its first race, and I don't think it skipped a year.
Fuck me dead. That's ridiculous.
The 11th running
This is the 11th running.
of the Abu Dhabi Grand
See,
Prix.
look who read some notes before they came.
That's crackers.
Look who the proper journalist in the room is, Sean.
You with all your provable facts,
Memory
historical
and-
evidence, yeah,
Yeah.
and things. Yeah, that is. It just doesn't seem like it's been going that long.
No.
It's still to me one of the newest races on the circuit. Although so was Malaysia when they decided to bin that off. That was nearly 20 years. So
Brand new.
Nostalgia's not what it used to be.
no, it really isn't. I suppose to some people the Hungarian Grand Prix is still probably quite a new one, even though that's been around since like mid 80s. But yeah, it's it generally speaking doesn't produce an interesting race. Although we have seen interesting things happen.
We've seen drama.
Yeah, drama like Vettel making his way through from the pit lane all
Alonso
the way.
not being able to get past Petrov.
Yeah, 2010 was that when Vettel won his first championship.
Yeah, the
Somehow-
most tense and non-overtake has ever been.
Yeah, somehow Renault made a car that could keep Ferrari behind it quite comfortably. Not just a Ferrari, but a former Renault employee Ferrari.
Was that the
driver.
same year that he was beaten to a win in Spain by Maldonado? Was that the same year?
No,
That was 2012.
Yeah, it was.
Ah,
Yeah.
right. I was just going to say that. That would be a year to forget for Fernando.
Yeah.
Well, like next year when he's driving Ferrari.
What?
Well, that's
Not gonna happen.
well, that's the thing. Are we
Because it's going to be Hulkenberg.
Yeah, I think so. Are we looking at a couple of drivers' last Formula One races? You know, Robert Kubica.
Kubica definitely.
We're pretty
Yeah.
sure he's gone. We don't think he's coming back.
It looks like Kubica's about to sign for Haas as the sim driver.
I heard
that
that.
is the main
That's-
story at the moment.
What?
Yeah, that's
Hang
been
on.
rumoured long time.
Kubica's going to Haas?
Yes.
Yeah.
Why do they collect
This-
poor
this-
drivers?
This rumour came out the same week they announced they were keeping Grosjean. It was a really happy week to be a Haas fan, I think.
We want our drivers to look better, so we're hiring Robert Kubica.
But yeah, it's I think it's definitely going to be Kubica's last race. As things stand, it's going to be Hulk's last race for the time being.
It looks like Latifi's getting the Williams seat, although nothing's confirmed.
Hulk has discounted getting the Williams seat. He said
Yes.
he's not going to take it.
Williams can't confirm Latifi until after the F2 race finishes on Sunday.
Okay. For points, is
For
that?
points
Yeah, he doesn't
purposes.
officially get enough points until the end of the F2 season.
Okay.
He still has a bag of cash.
This is
What
Sunday or
was it,
Saturday, the F2
massive
race?
bag of
I
cash.
think they've got one
Yeah.
on each, have they not?
Yeah,
They've got the feature
yeah.
and the sprint.
Yeah, feature race Saturday, sprint race Sunday.
So yeah, looks like Latifi's getting the Williams seat, so Kubica is well gone. Hulkenberg as well. I think the only way we're gonna see Hulkenberg in a seat in Formula One is if we get that surprise Rosberg style retirement.
Or somebody has to be replaced through the year. Because we're thinking about it, that happens quite a lot now, doesn't it? You go through the season and sooner or later you end up with a super sub in somewhere. It's it happens
Like when Massa was ill and
fairly
Durest
regularly.
joined.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah.
A few years.
Even this year, we almost had who was
It was Ericsson when
Eric- yeah.
Raikkonen had was it a fishing accident or something, and he had his leg injury.
hangover.
Fell
He
in the
was
river, too
walking
many
with a
beers.
limp,
Yeah.
definitely, honest.
Yeah.
Just looking at. There hasn't been a season for a couple of years where there's been some a super sub coming in.
Well, not in this particular.
I suppose Giovinazzi in 2017 when he replaced Berline for the first couple of races.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jenson Button as well when he replaced Alonso.
Yeah.
One race, yeah.
Yeah, it all kicked off that year, and a total of
Whatever the fuck Toro
six
Rosso were
different
doing
drivers
2 years
driving
ago.
the two Toro Rosso cars over the course
Yeah.
of the year.
Yeah, Ocon was a
He replaced Haryanto, didn't he?
yeah,
At
it was a
Manor,
kind
or
of a super
Marussia,
sub,
or-
but again he was a rookie.
Yeah.
It wasn't like somebody who'd fallen out of favour and then came back in.
Mhm.
I suppose Massa replacing Bottas when Bottas went to Williams, went to Mercedes from Williams.
Heidefeld's had a couple of goes coming back and forwards, hasn't he?
He replaced Kubica
Kovalainen.
after his accident.
Yeah,
Kovalainen,
Kovalainen
yeah.
came in for Raikkonen,
Yeah.
I think.
Lotus, do you remember someone doing a super sub at Lotus?
Yeah,
Kovalainen.
Yeah, Kovalainen when Kimi had a back injury because
/ Lotus run out of money.
injured his back by
Yeah.
standing in the queue at the bank without a check.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you've got Hulkenberg on the bench waiting to be subbed in, there's worse drivers out there that you could have fall into a Formula One car.
Yeah.
And they're all richer.
Mm-hmm. Durista and Williams.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what it was. Yeah,
And, yeah.
but the thing with Hulkenberg is that I think he'd take a Formula One seat if one came up, but I don't know. I think the only way one's going to come up is if what we already said about the Ferrari link. If Vettel decides he's retiring, that
The only
rumour won't go
issue-
away.
Yeah, but the only issue with that is would Ferrari take the risk with Hulkenberg?
Unless, of
What
course,
is the other option?
unless of course Danny Rick has this get-out clause in his Renault contract and
Yeah.
Ferrari come for him and all of a sudden Renault need a driver. Oh, hang on. Yeah, don't bother clearing your locker out, mate.
Yeah.
Just move it next door. And
Like I said, I know it's an unpopular opinion for people, but I don't think unless there's another step forward from where he is this year, I don't think Leclerc is capable of challenging for a championship.
No, but as I said in last week's podcast, I think Ferrari need to decide, in order to challenge properly for a championship, they need to decide who they're going to throw their weight behind quite early on. I mean, they can always say at the beginning of the season, "Oh, it's equal. It's it's this and it's that."
But would Ferrari take someone on that hasn't been on the podium? That's the thing.
No, they
They did that this year.
as a number two.
Yeah, but they did it yesterday. But they were taking a hot up and coming rookie, weren't they?
Yeah.
I think they'd take him on as a number two for a season, or they'd stick Hulk in the Alpha and bring Kimi back for.
I was just
a
going to
season.
say, I think over Hulkenberg, you're more likely to see Kimi back in Ferrari. Oh, I've got a funny feeling
But there
about
is-
Alonso. I've got a funny feeling about Alonso.
Yeah,
You've had a funny feeling about Alonso for a few years.
I
I
just
know, and it's
don't-
quite disturbing, and I wish he'd stop sending us messages about it.
There is that, but I mean, where else down the
He's
field?
going to be back in Formula One. Like.
I'm not sure now. I think it's very difficult for him. But where else?
I
down?
think he might take a McLaren driver. I don't care what they say. There's some reason why he's continually linked with McLaren.
He's their ambassador.
Cap
But
sales.
he was working in the factory the other day.
He was working in the factory. It just sounds like he's there
Video,
just doing some stitching and
sweeping.
putting the bolts on.
Yeah, I'd be worried if I was Lando Norris right now.
I wouldn't be. Not yet. It's still his first year in Formula One. If he's as far behind Carlos next year, with on level.
No,
pegging
I'd
with
be
luck.
worried for either of them if Alonso wanted to come back to McLaren. If that car's good next year and Alonso wants to come back to McLaren, I think there is someone, either Zach Brown or the money men behind McLaren, that are so high on Alonso, it will just be a thing that happens.
I'm unsure.
I don't
Almost
see
definitely
it
not.
given how much turmoil they
It's not
had with
impossible.
Alonso, and now they finally seem to actually be going somewhere without Alonso.
Yeah, I don't know where else you'd put Hulkenberg in, as I say, Alfa Romeo if something happens to either Kimi or Giovinazzi. I was surprised that they decided to keep. I say I was surprised.
I think I wasn't given how late they announced it. If it had been like 2-3 months ago, I would have been.
I wouldn't have been surprised. Yeah,
But
I was
since the
surprised
summer
they
break,
left it so late. Yeah, but although Giovinazzi had done some improving, I just don't know where else they could slot Hülkenberg in. But the thing is, he's not a driver that absolutely has to be in Formula One.
No. Very much like he's better than Grosjean and Magnussen, but he's still in the same box, isn't he, as far as drivers that could fall out of Formula One.
And he said he's looking at other stuff.
It's not like Daniel Ricciardo, for instance. If he was under threat of falling out of Formula One, I think we'd all be very upset with something like that.
And I think someone would create a seat.
Yes.
If suddenly Renault pulled out or something, somewhere a seat would open up for him.
I can see Hulk battling Rene Rast for the DTM title next year.
Maybe.
Well, he said in the interview that he's not going to do anything, and that he'll be ready for Formula One next year should he be needed.
DTM then.
I don't think he'll race. I don't think he'll race.
I've read a different interview then, because I've read one where he said he is looking at options.
I reckon I'll have another crack at Le Mans.
There's talks of him doing.
Oh, of course, because he has single-handedly won that before.
Yeah, and
he
can win it in a different team this year.
Yes.
Indy 500. And then all he has to do is Monaco Grand Prix.
No, he's already counted out the ovals. He said he wouldn't mind taking part in the street race, street tracks, but he doesn't want to do the ovals.
I can understand that. I really, really wouldn't be surprised if he snapped up as Ferrari's reserve
the Brendan
driver.
Hartley, Danny Kvyat.
Yeah, the Brendan Hartley,
the
Danny
home of
Kvyat
rest for
role.
old Formula One drivers.
Well, I mean, he said that's a route that he doesn't want to go down.
I mean, he doesn't want to go down it until Ferrari go,
Yes.
dear Mr. Hulkenberg, lots of money and our drivers are in turmoil.
And you get to wear a red suit.
Yeah. And live in Italy for a little while.
Yeah, it's not so bad.
We need somebody who's got more charisma than Marc Genet.
Enter
That's not hard.
a used stamp.
Hey, some used stamps, they're very popular in certain niche circles.
Yeah, I don't think having Marc Genet as the public face of Ferrari media presenting the car launches or anything on video live from Maranello was a good idea.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, I was watching it from home and you guys were watching it from the Mercedes launch.
That was bizarre. That was bizarre.
We weren't the only ones in that press centre laughing at that, though.
No. But it was a bizarre situation to be in, to be at the Mercedes launch, watching Ferrari's launch on a television.
Yeah. And when Mercedes tweeted that they weren't going to miss Ferrari's launch for all the money in the world, Paul's reflection was in the TV on the tweet.
Yes.
That's my proudest moment ever on Twitter.
Yeah.
I wonder if we're going to get some big launches next year from the teams, because every launch this season was a little bit on the low key side, and there was no press event.
It's going towards what we said earlier this year, isn't it? It's going towards the launch event where Formula One launches the season.
That's what it should be.
Which they kind of did in Australia this year, although...
Oh, it was a bit weird that, though.
Yeah, the boat with the drivers coming down the river and then all the drivers get off and...
Isn't Autosport's live event just before, like, early in the year?
It's
soon,
usually
I think,
sort of
isn't it?
mid-January.
It's usually around about your birthday.
It's usually sort of sometime between mine and Dan's birthdays.
That's what they should do. They should hook up with Autosport.
Or copy their idea.
Yeah,
Nothing wrong with
or
that.
set up... if there isn't enough room wherever Autosport do their live thing, then hire a separate fucking building.
I think they do it at the NEC or somewhere. They do it in one of the big
It's
exhibitions,
the
don't they?
Jenkin Arena or whatever it's called.
Because the bikes have just done this in Birmingham, where they have like a week and a half of just signings and event launches.
I'd argue Formula One's big enough to use the O2.
Yeah.
I mean, the last day of Motorcycle Live was TT Day yesterday.
Yeah, because you get all the British Superbike teams doing their big announcements. You get all the TT teams doing their Who's Road Racing announcement. Yeah. And you get all the fans in there for like several days because they know where it's all at.
How cool would it be, right? You know how you've got the indoor park area of the... it's not indoor, is it? The stadium area of the O2 where they do like the Race of Champions and stuff like that when they have that on. How cool would this be to have a live event so you have stuff going on all day with interviews and things like that and challenges and all that?
You buy your seat.
Yeah, you could have like an esports competition, all that sort of stuff. And then it culminates with, in reverse championship order,
Cars.
both cars coming out, both cars coming out and parking on a grid in race order, and then like the closing thing of your event can be like a wire camera. You know, like you get the grid lineup on the television, but a live version of that, of a cameraman going down the grid to show you your participants of the 2021
I like
season.
it, but most of the time before, like more than a few days before first race, there is not a second chassis.
No, but the thing is, you would speak to these guys and say, look, we just want a car that's going to drive out of here with your livery on that looks something similar to what you're going to race.
Fair enough.
You know,
that's a sponsors thing as well, though,
Yeah.
isn't it? Because a lot of sponsors clash with each other, and they were obviously like, you know,
They all want their own day, don't
You're
they?
not going to want to get Rocket energy drinks.
No, but
and
you can-
Monster being.
But you get
Get
get it
coverage at the same
you get it
time.
every race weekend.
Yeah, but it's the chance. You know, it's the chance for the sponsors to get their own.
But
thing,
you can
isn't
still
it?
do that. You can still do the individual things that they do. I mean, I'm not saying like an optional thing. I think this should be a forced thing, that this is part of Formula One.
Yeah, a season launch.
Sign up to the new agreement.
Opening ceremony.
Yeah, sign up to the new agreement. You have to be part of the opening ceremony.
Yeah, I don't think it's a silly idea at all.
I mean, a lot of sporting events have it, and I don't think it's a bad thing. Apart from World Cup opening ceremonies that usually seem to last about 4 hours.
Yeah,
and then the first game afterwards is usually shit.
you could even do a race of champions type fucking thing with it. You know, because we always talk about how it'd be good to see Formula One drivers driving something different against each other. So during the course of that day, have a race of champions style knockout event between Formula One drivers in.
As long as no one does the Pascal Verline.
As long as no one Pascal Verlaine's it.
Yeah.
Then because you wouldn't be able to get Joe Benazzi to replace anyone this year because it would be him that was broken. While we're on the subject of former and non-drivers, Dan Ticktum's raised his head again,
Yay.
saying that there's F1 teams interested in him. You had a theory about this.
Yes, I think there is a difference between interest and manager has had a conversation with someone at the team.
I don't know why everyone is so down on Dan Ticktum.
Because he has a temper and
I don't
a
think it's-
discipline issue.
I don't
but
think
he's
it's being
20.
down on Dan Ticktum. I think it's where the hell is he going to go? We just had the conversation that there's no seats for a lot of other drivers.
Well, he's supposed to be going to Dams, isn't he, this year for F2?
He's meant to be doing something with F2. I didn't know it was Dams, but
Dams is what
they've
it's been
got 2
linked to.
drivers going, haven't they? So
I think if he's in Dams, given the team it is, I would be surprised if he's not fighting for the championship. I think he's good enough to make it to Formula One. I think there's something good about him. You turn around and say, well, he's got a temper. Fucking Schumacher.
Yeah, Schumacher had a horrible temper.
yeah, he's
Schumacher literally tried to kill Barrichello.
Leclerc's got a temper.
yeah.
I think the main problem is with Dan Ticktum is he is unpredictable in a race.
When he was like 17.
He's been like that. It was like that last year though.
But I think he's still so young. He's 20. He's still young enough to make it to Formula One. I think to write somebody off that age is silly. Especially someone that was lauded so much by people like Helmut Marko. You know.
No, I mean,
But how many drivers have been through Red Bull Young Drivers
True,
program
yeah.
though, with a glowing review up
But
until about that age, and
I-
then you never hear from them again.
To be fair, I think if he can cut, because there must be still something to do with Red Bull, because I had a look on his website again the other day, and he's still Red Bulled up on his website.
Red Bull sponsored perhaps, but not on
Might
the
just
No,
have
no,
not had
Young
some new
Drivers program
photos.
anymore, but I think he's getting some form of sponsorship from them.
Yeah, so there's something there. Red Bull do have a lack of drivers at the minute waiting to come up to the series.
There's a few decent ones in like F3 last year. There were a few good ones. They've got a couple in Euro Formula doing quite
If
well.
Yuri Vip's moving to F2 next
There's Yuri
year.
Vips.
Nothing confirmed yet. The
there's-
only F2 driver that's confirmed for next year is Artem Markelov, who swore blind he was never coming back to a full-time F2 drive,
Yeah.
let alone a part-time one. He did 3 races last season, and now he's signed to HWA.
But yeah, they've got Yuri Vips, they've got Sonoda, they've got Liam Lawson, they've got Jack Doohan. Who else have they got? They've got another Japanese one whose name is eluding me.
Another one you mean, and I can't remember.
Yeah. But no, they have got a few sort of in the F3 neck of the woods.
Not Nobuharu Matsushita.
Not Nobuharu Matsushita.
Tell you what, I think it's time F2. I know why they decided to do it, but I think it's time F2 scrap that whole if you win the F2 championship, you can't stay in the sport.
It's about time they did, because
we're losing drivers. We're losing drivers that could go.
Where have you got to go?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if there isn't an F1 seat,
Nick De Vries has gone to Formula E, never to be seen again.
Nick De Vries, who crossed the line. Did he cross the line 8th and was classified 16th after his penalty?
Yeah.
wow.
In Mercedes' debut Formula E race, in which Stoffel Van Dorn finished 3rd.
Yeah.
Cool.
And remained 3rd.
I didn't know what was going on.
I thought it was strange that it was on a Friday.
Yeah, I was surprised when it was like, race 1, underway now. I was like, what?
Are you saying that to start a championship with the first race, it's a silly idea to have it on during the day when everyone's at work?
Yeah.
But don't forget, the weekend in Saudi Arabia is Friday, Saturday.
That's fucking great.
The
but
weekend
not
for
the rest of the
motorsport
world.
fans.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
That's the problem. But how much will they have paid the owners
Oh,
of
many.
Formula
I am
E?
sure it will
Yeah,
be plentiful.
Let us have it, and here's some more money so that we can do it on our weekend.
Yeah.
And the thing is, we then tried to watch it on our weekend. None of the channels that have it had it on catch up.
Is it Qatar, the MotoGP, that
Yes.
Friday, Saturday instead of Saturday, Sunday?
Yeah.
Well, when they do that in MotoGP, see, I knew about that because when MotoGP do their thing in Qatar, they tell everyone, and all of the TV adverts that they put out, which isn't many, admittedly, it's just like, don't forget it's Friday, Saturday, not Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah.
I think do they not still have the race on Sunday though?
No, I think unless they changed that recently, but it was Friday, Saturday.
I'm sure they
usually
do
it's
it
all
on
the one
Sunday
day,
now.
didn't they? At first, when Formula E first started, it was just a Saturday thing. They qualified in the morning, and raced in the afternoon. I thought that was pretty cool.
I don't mind one day thing really. I mean, as long as it's,
I suppose particularly when you're doing it in a city as well and you're shutting everything down, it's maybe a bit more convenient.
I think it's fucked Formula E. I think they've missed the boat of what it could have been.
Formula fucked.
Yeah.
Good.
They've put back the Gen 3 cars as well, haven't they?
Oh, have they?
I think they put them back they were supposed to be 2025. I think they put them back a little bit further. And it's, to me, I'm sure it's going to carry on. I don't think it's going to die. But to become the Formula One competitor that they always wanted it to be, it's just not going to happen.
yeah.
I have decreed it.
Do you reckon maybe they're a bit hesitant because there's the hydrogen car coming in WEC and they're kind of waiting to see what that's doing?
I think WEC has more chance with what they're planning.
DTM as well. DTM trialing a hydrogen
Oh, they
fuel.
Sorry,
Right,
no, it is. That's what you're thinking of as DTM.
No, WEC top
Oh, are they
class.
gonna do it as
They're
well?
replacing LMP1 with hydrogen next year.
Wow. I think Formula One is probably looking more at what's going on there than they are, because I don't think Formula One wants to move to electric. I mean, we've decided they can't, can they?
Till 2030.
Yeah, I was going to say
has-
Formula E have got the FIA rights to being the official FIA or electric series for about another 10 years at least. So they'd have to move to hydrogen fuel cells or methanol or something.
I think that's always going to be the problem, isn't it, as far as electric racing goes in single-seater cars? You've got small cars that you want to make as light as possible.
Yeah.
But even with the faster you want the cars to go is the more energy the battery's going to need to have. So you can't shrink the batteries down because it's capacity you're after rather than making them smaller. So I think you're always going to have this slightly Larry, not really race car feeling car. You look at them and go, that's what some people like, the fact that they're all slidey and stuff like that. To me, it just looks like quick go-karts, and probably not even as quick as World Championship go-karts.
Well, no, they can't be as quick as World Championship go-karts, because World Championship go-karts don't have absolutely fucking stupid chicanes 100 feet away from the start line where everybody snarls up.
Well, this is true, yeah, and I think that's the other thing as well. The amount of accidents and now penalties. I don't even know what the pens were for. What was that
I
about?
have no idea. I know that somebody got disqualified.
Max Gunter overtook under a safety car, so he lost his position.
Yeah,
Right.
there were plenty of penalties.
It feels like a lottery. It feels like a war of attrition than an actual motor race.
No, he drives for Jaguar, isn't he?
Did
I have
you
seen
remember D'Ambrosio get disqualified and yet somehow still finished ahead of someone?
No idea.
I don't know.
Formula E's crowning moment will forever be
That first race.
Of the first race, and then that subsequent end. It was at the end of that championship where they had like the two leading cars of the championship were
Shootout
last.
for championship.
That was so exciting, and it really shouldn't have been.
That first race kicked this whole thing off.
It did,
Yeah.
yes.
It did.
Yeah.
And we had all the grand plans of following Formula E because that was going to be the future, and we were wrong.
Let's stick to the number one instead of the letter E.
Yes.
Today's Sesame Street.
It's brought to you by regret.
Talking of regret, there's still rumblings about Honda not being overly clear on what they're doing in 2021 yet. Whether they're staying or going.
Well, apparently Horner has come out and said that the win in Brazil has been instrumental in helping them to stay, or make their mind up.
There is a slight news story that I've just remembered that we haven't really touched on, was the Ferrari and Ferrari customers being asked to provide fuel filter samples.
Everyone, they took the fuel flow sensors off every single car, and as of 2020, there's now going to be 2 fuel flow sensors in the cars.
It's easy for you to say.
I know, yeah.
Because it looked like, and this is not confirmed, but it looked like on the Ferrari and customer,
Ferrari might have been cheating.
they may have been tricking the fuel flow sensor.
I think they were cheating.
Exploiting a loophole.
Yes.
Toto Wolff said that when he looked at Red Bull provided 3 different scenarios for how Ferrari could be doing what they're doing. And
Toto Wolff, and we're doing all 3 of them.
No, Toto Wolff said if any team is found to be doing this, it can't be accepted as just exploiting the rules, and it has to be looked at as out and out cheating.
Which means Mercedes probably aren't doing it then.
Probably not.
Well, not anymore.
So yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? For next year, double fuel flow sensors.
Yeah.
To reinforce. But I mean, if you can loophole round one of them, surely they can just put another loophole in and loophole round 2 of them. So what we're going to get like 2021 triple fuel flow sensor.
This is basically what the regulations are, though, aren't they? They're just loopholes until they're found, and then it's a new loophole.
Fuel sensor harder.
From the looks of things, the fuel flow sensors are actually made by the engine manufacturers. And the new second one that's going in is going to be an FIA standardised one.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's going to be an identical one that everyone puts in that is apparently tamper-proof.
Because they don't have that problem.
Yeah,
with
apparently.
Formula E.
Apparently.
That sounds like a challenge.
Yeah, they don't have that problem in Formula E, though, do they?
So Ferrari been
Let's be
up to
honest.
something like you don't lose. We'll see in Abu Dhabi whether their qualifying pace comes back, but at one point they had like a second on the rest of the field over one lap. It was a huge qualifying advantage that eroded away in a split second, and then their race pace eroded away as well. They were up to something.
Yeah.
Got to up to something. It was Ferrari.
It's Ferrari, yeah.
Thanks to everybody who corrected me on what happened with Charles Leclerc's tyres as well in Brazil. He did stop around about the same time.
Yeah, I got by proxy heat from all this.
To be fair, Dan normally gets by proxy heat because of you slagging off Leclerc, so I think you had credit.
True. Yeah, that's true. But I'm right about Leclerc.
It's all your chickens coming home to roost.
Leclerc was on the newer tyres.
Yes.
Yes.
Leclerc, if I remember,
by 5 laps.
Leclerc stopped
I
under the
missed
safety
that
car the
stop.
same time as Vettel.
Yeah.
Not Vettel, Verstappen. So I think we were looking at Verstappen, but Leclerc was like right behind him.
Well, that was my whole thing with it.
And I apologise for being so wrong.
How dare you?
But it still makes it more Vettel's fault because he was on the older tyres trying to pass him, but he didn't shove him off the track.
Oh, absolutely. It was Vettel's fault, certainly, in that situation.
You really went on autopilot and said it was Leclerc's fault because that's just what you say.
No, but I still believe it was Vettel's fault for the accident, but Leclerc had the opportunity to stop the accident. If you're coming up the road outside my house and there's cars on up the road there on one side of the road, you've got the right of way coming up. And if a car suddenly decides to pull out in front of you, you have just as much responsibility to not run into that car as he has, not to run into you.
Well, technically true. You could say that about any crash in any motor racing series ever.
Because sometimes there's no way out of it. But when you've got a huge amount of track next to you, and you can see your teammate coming this way, he had the choice to give more, to give in.
He tried to give more,
and he didn't. No, he didn't want to give in.
Not getting into it again.
No.
That got heated enough last week and on social media from last.
To the point where you had to lie. Yes, I had to lie to change my mind.
But on your Twitter, you said that you went back to it being 100% Seb's fault when you found out that Leclerc was on fresher tyres.
Yeah, I think the accident was Seb's fault with him on the fresher tyres, but I still think that Leclerc could have stopped them having the accident.
Yeah, I agree with the comments that are being posted on YouTube right now.
I'm not going to look at the comments on YouTube until tomorrow.
Right. Yeah.
I'll do it in my lunch break. 'Cause I like the way that YouTube now lets you keep the comments on live streams.
It's good. Yeah, it is good. Remember, if you're listening to the podcast and you wish that you could have watched us on YouTube, you can. We're live on Monday evenings UK time.
9 o'clock UK time usually.
Yeah.
Depending on the quality of the Wi-Fi router that Lee's been landed with from a really shitty telecoms company over here.
Yeah.
So if you wanted to join us and watch us podcasting live, you can. Just come on our YouTube channel.
YouTube.com/3Legs4wheels.
As strangely Inception style people are doing right now.
Yeah.
Right, so we've got a race to look forward to this weekend then.
We do.
Yes.
Not a great circuit as already discussed.
Yeah.
The worst circuit.
I don't know that it's
France.
Le Castellet.
No, it never used to be. Never used to be. It'd be the worst.
Russia, pretty bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's usually a poor race, but
I'm going to be controversial and say Hockenheim after all the changes.
Gave us a good race this year, though, didn't it?
We had a good race, but I don't know. I don't like the way it's gone now.
I miss don't forget, like the spectacle of the old Hockenheim was good.
I think
it was a shit race circuit. It was a boring race.
I think it's lost a lot of its character.
Yeah, but it was still like Hockenheim was a boring race when it was straights and chicanes.
You get good races.
Yeah, you get better races, I think, on the new layout.
So the main battles we've got for this week really is who comes sixth.
Because 4th and 5th are decided now.
Fourth and 5th are pretty much that. I mean, if Leclerc wins and Verstappen doesn't finish.
Oh, I thought you were talking about teams. Sorry.
I was talking about drivers. But yes, fourth and third and fourth are decided.
Is 5th not decided?
5th isn't decided. Renault are only 8 points ahead of Toro Rosso.
Ooh. Gasly.
I'm not going to lie. As soon as you get this far down the grid, I don't give a fuck who finishes where.
But given what they had such an awful start to the season, Toro Rosso, it would be good to see them steal position off Renault right at the end.
Terrible season for Renault, isn't it?
It is really, especially when you look at Racing Point. You could kind of discount because of their whole
some turmoil last year.
Last year. Perez keeping them afloat.
I think they've had a reasonable year considering.
Racing Point have released a statement saying this car was never going to be brilliant. Look what was happening when we were designing it.
Yeah. Alfa Romeo, oops, they fell away quite quickly.
Although they've had a bit of a
good result last time.
Yeah, great result in Brazil, which is, let's be honest, an anomaly race.
For the first half of the season, it was Kimi keeping them going.
Yeah, absolutely. And then you look at your final two. Haas have got points. Williams have got point.
And what is it? Haas have only scored points in 5 races this season, is it?
That sounds about right.
Like that. I think all those teams are going to find themselves like that, shuffled back that spot because they've allowed, through having bad years, they've allowed McLaren to get the jump back into the game.
Well, I think anyone from 4th to 10th can be flipped around with a good winter.
But you look at when you look at the resources that McLaren have got, I think it's going to be very difficult for now in a non-Honda McLaren.
Yeah,
it's going to be very difficult for the likes of Racing Point
You reckon they
to jump them?
Well, I don't know. Sean Kelly was saying that Virtual Statman. He was saying that he expects Racing Point to make the biggest jump from this year to next year.
Maybe, but they've got more to make up.
Because they didn't. Yeah, they got more to make up, but they didn't really do much with this year's car. They kind of put a car together and went, there you go. That's the rules. Here's a car. It races.
They've also got one okay driver and one of the worst drivers in living memory.
They've also,
come on, Perez isn't that bad.
what was it? I can't remember the size of the land. It's something like 900 acres. They're extending their factory by, and they've also employed 200 extra staff as well. So they are really throwing. I mean, Lawrence Stroll is really throwing money at that team.
I feel there's a thing on Twitter. So someone asked, "Who is your most which driver has inspired you the most?" Was put on Twitter.
I saw your reply to this.
I picked Lance Stroll because he's proved that it doesn't matter how big the talent gap is or what you can actually achieve. There's nothing that a massive pile of cash can't solve.
Especially when you.
And it's a lesson to everybody.
Especially when you look like Team Wolf.
You do. Or mid transition Hulk.
Yeah. Just before he goes green.
Yeah.
I'd have to say James Hunt would be my answer to that question, because if you can achieve that much, either hungover or still drunk.
Actually, we might as well do this for realsies. What would be your for realsies?
My most the most influential driver.
Yeah.
Mika Hakkinen for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Purely because of the balls that he had to do some of the things that he did. Yes, he had a massive accident, nearly died in '95. I can remember Senna. I remember Senna racing, and Senna was always spectacular. But there were a few times when Hakkinen was he was almost on that level. Not all the time, but because it was almost on that level, once, twice a season, it was amazing to see when he was. Obviously, the pass in Spa.
Greatest overtake in Formula 1 history, I think.
He speaks about it so candidly. He came out of La Source and decided he was going to keep his foot down through Eau Rouge. Remembering in those days they had quite heavy fuel loads as well.
Yeah, and it was still, are they going to go flat?
They're going to go flat. And he took Eau Rouge flat, and he knew when he took Eau Rouge flat, he thought, right, okay, I'm going to catch him before the end of the straight. And he saw the back marker and thought, I'll go whichever way Michael doesn't go.
Yeah.
Michael went left, he went right, and he just that was it. He didn't know.
All of a sudden, Ricciardo Zonta needed new underpants
for the second time at Spa.
So for me, the most influential driver is Mika Hakkinen.
I'm stuck because really, you're looking at Damon Hill because he was like my first, not just the first Formula 1 driver I supported, the first sportsman I ever supported in any sport, but I suppose for actual influence, it has to be Ayrton Senna. I'm not a massive Ayrton Senna fan. I think there's a bit of a Kurt Cobain syndrome with him now, where he's overrated posthumously. I know he was a great Formula 1 driver, but I think Lewis Hamilton's better. And I think Michael Schumacher was probably better as well. Sorry about your comments.
I'm just forwarding them all on for you this week.
But if it wasn't for Ayrton Senna crashing and dying, childhood Lee wouldn't have realised the dangers of Formula 1, and I would have never got into the sport because I thought it was crazy that somebody died playing a game at the time.
Yeah.
Joking aside, I think I would actually go James Hunt.
Yeah.
Because when he won his championship, I was 6 and I wanted a toy Formula 1 car and I wanted James Hunt's Formula 1 car.
Yeah.
Because he was all over the papers, and I think if it hadn't have been for James Hunt winning that title,
you wouldn't have got into Formula 1.
I wouldn't have got into Formula 1 at all. And I didn't even know the circumstances of James Hunt winning, how he won the championship until years later. But he was a British driver in a fast car that was doing TV adverts with Morecambe and Wise.
Yeah,
What's not to love?
Exactly, yeah. In that respect, I have to give a special mention to Nigel Mansell, but for me it was the car more than actually Nigel Mansell. I don't know why, just was.
Mm-hmm.
Being played by Rick Mail in a Mario Kart advert?
It's strange. I don't have an answer. I don't think of drivers as being influential.
Lie.
I don't know, because I never followed F1 as a kid.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know. I think I'm a cynical adult and I don't think of influence.
David
I don't know.
Coulthard's the only driver who you've got some merch of, because
Yeah, because you bought me it.
I bought you a polo.
And that's
I bought you
a
polo
lie.
shirt
That's a
the other
lie.
night.
I have a Ricardo t-shirt.
Yeah, I
Oh, you
gave
did?
Sean a
Flood
Ricardo
gave me.
t-shirt. Yeah.
So, yeah,
Nice chat, Sean.
Yeah, sorry. You've asked me. I don't...
Danny Ricardo, there you go. Good answer. Well done.
You're a journalist. You have to remain impartial.
Yeah, I don't do, like, favourites and shit like that. It's too much effort.
It's like when people ask me who's your favourite Formula 1 driver. It's just like, well, I don't really have one. I mean, I like watching good races. You know what I mean? I like it when drivers deserve their position, they deserve to win, and when they got good battles going on. You know, if Carlos Sainz is fighting Lewis Hamilton, I'll be like, yeah, go on, Carlos, go on, go past, because he's the underdog. I always quite like the thing with the underdog. But then at the same time, in like Hungary, when Lewis Hamilton was like chasing down Max Verstappen on newer tyres, but like 20 seconds behind, I was just like, oh, is he
if
gonna
you
catch
like the
him?
Underdog, I expect to see you in a Stroll t-shirt next year.
Haas, my friend.
It said underdog, not runt of the litter.
Yeah, exactly. But then,
Sorry, Canada. Oh no, it's all right. Canada's not keen on him either.
But at the same time, I know a lot of people. Lewis Hamilton's very chalk and cheese, Marmite sort of personality. I wanted him to catch Verstappen because I wanted to see the race between Verstappen and Hamilton.
Yeah.
So there's not really like a favourite driver for me. I like watching the good racing that goes on.
I've always been sports racist. I always
Sport
support
British.
Britain.
Yeah.
I think you do support your home country driver to a certain extent over anyone else.
Yeah.
But it depends what the quality's like.
George Russell and Lando Norris hold a pretty strong place in favouritism for me. Purely because they're rookies and I want them to do well, maybe because they're British.
Yeah.
But I can never warm to Mark Blundell. There was just something about him that wound me up.
His name is too similar to Martin Brundle.
Yeah.
Too Cockney, I don't know.
Maybe. That's an easy way to be put off anybody.
Every time he opened his mouth, you expected somebody to come in with backing vocals singing Park Life.
Wasn't that Cockney, was he?
I'm from Yorkshire. Everyone from south of Sheffield's a Cockney. You talk Cockney.
I don't, but thank you.
Anyway, back to this weekend. I don't think we're going to see a massively exciting race because there is not a great deal to play for. I think we'll see a battle possibly forming between Toro Rosso and Renault. But given Renault's form when they need to perform, the car's going to let them down.
I think Mercedes and Red Bull are going to be pretty evenly matched.
I reckon Ferrari might try and kill each other again.
Yeah. Yes, I hope so.
I think so. Early doors, though, rather than later on.
Yeah, they will just straight out the blocks. Right, where are you?
Yeah, and I wouldn't be surprised to see Mercedes go. Remember the secret setting for the race? What do you mean? Well, we got that 11. Oh, of course, the dial goes up to 11. I forgot about this. Mercedes.
Maybe, because they've just got nothing to worry about.
Yeah, I mean, it should be if you've got anything.
Although Bottas might be taking a grid penalty, we don't know yet.
So he might as well just thrash the shit out of the engine.
I mean, if you've got anything left in any of your available engine components, you just rag the hell out of it because it's not going to matter.
Big old straight though, isn't it? And Mercedes, and it's but it's not something we're used to saying. But Mercedes have been struggling with straight line speed all year, and all of a sudden Honda don't seem to.
Especially when in a drag race with a Mercedes.
Crazy. So I think they're going to be pretty evenly matched. I think we might get a good race between those, especially Hamilton and Verstappen.
Yeah, possibly might get the season ending battle that we've been looking for most of the year.
Yeah.
Or we could end up with Hamilton out front driving as slow as possible again.
Maybe.
Like 2016.
Maybe.
I wouldn't mind seeing Hamilton Vettel. Do you know what I mean? Because we haven't really seen that this year.
No, my prediction
we did in Canada,
the race,
and that didn't really end well.
Yeah.
Going back to what Sean was saying, I have a feeling that you've got, you know, as you go up the hill, and you got that big long sweeping sort of right-hander before they go down towards
by
the
the
hairpin.
pit exit.
Yeah. Leclerc and Vettel
Mm-hmm.
will come together there.
I think hairpin lap 1.
Hairpin, maybe.
Lap 1.
Oh no,
Lap
I'm
one.
thinking
Zero
from
trust.
the start, wherever they're all bunched up. If you've got like a Leclerc or a Vettel on the outside, and there's a bit of a back go, because part of me wonders, like, Leclerc's going nowhere in Ferrari, yeah.
Well, he's there for a while.
Yeah. So if Vettel's on the edge of either being dropped or jump before you push, sort of thing, is it in Leclerc's interest to allow an accident to happen?
Not if it's one where it's obviously his fault. If
No,
he could
but
create a
if they're
situation
there-
where
if
it's
they're
Vettel's
there,
fault,
yeah.
then
But if you kind of know you're there, I don't mean like T-boning him, but if you kind of know you're
A
going to be
little
there,
bit more subtle than that.
yeah.
I don't know, because they've had this sort of being summoned to Maranello and bollocks, haven't they? Maybe they are on some kind of final warning.
That
Both
makes
of them.
Double
We
secret
don't know.
probation for anyone
Yeah.
that gets
Special
that done.
measures.
Being summoned to Maranello makes me think that they just like materialized in a pentagram. Like they didn't know they were going to be there. And in a puff of fire, they're at Maranello in the sacrifice room.
Somebody at Fiorano said some Latin and
I'm picturing like cages of fire as well, I think, possibly
Vettel
for
and
this.
Leclerc just appear in the room. Oh, God, we've been summoned again, Charles.
And with you saying Leclerc sort of causing an accident but not deliberately, I just have this vision of him leaving a plate of free birdseed out. With like an anvil hovering over it.
Vettel's there going, it doesn't matter how many times this happened, I'm not fucking used to it. I don't like it.
Look at Red Bull, they just call you.
Leclerc's that young that he's shit.
This isn't my bedroom.
I picked the wrong moment to inhale.
Yeah, that's what he said as well.
Oh, shit.
It's even worse if you get someone near you who's, oh, Mum! What? Hello, Mr. Ferrari.
Anyway, let's get back.
Moving swiftly away
Yeah.
from that.
Yeah, because we need to quite swiftly.
Well, we should do some actual race predictions.
Yes.
Give me time to think. I'll do the ones from people what aren't here.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So who?
Because I definitely wasn't given what I actually think happened.
Have we got?
Just moving away.
Have we got a guest predictor?
We haven't got a guest predictor this week, and Lee's not going to like this.
Paul appears to be in a fap.
This is from Joel Benedict, who managed to place that bet on the Verstappen win, Hamilton podium, Raikkonen top 6, and Giovinazzi and Kvyat to both get points. And the bookmaker paid out on that as well.
Good man.
Good.
Did you get paid out on?
No.
Motherfucking scoundrels.
So, he's going for a Hamilton win.
That's a terrifying gif.
Sexy Charles, in brackets, his official nickname in our house.
That's
second.
weird, given how the conversation has just gone.
Yes.
That's
And Verstappen third.
I don't like that. Thank you.
what is the gif? Give us
Hang on, I
a
need to ref
description
that
of the
nickname
gif.
for him.
Sexy Charles.
Sexy Charles, do 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 do. Sexy Charles, do 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 do.
Yeah, that's ruined.
Yeah, that's it. You've just finished his career now. That's not about anything else. Got Dan's here as well.
Yeah.
He's going for a Hamilton win, Bottas second, and Verstappen third.
So I think Dan's probably thinking the same as I maybe alluded to, that you're going to see Mercedes. Do you remember that they've got a Mode 11 or whatever they want to call it?
I think they'd have used that by now if that was available this year.
I don't think they've had to.
I think it's all cool, and I think that's their straight line speed. I think they're running their engine reserved because they fucked their car slightly.
I am going to go for a Hamilton win because he usually does quite well in Abu Dhabi. He's got a number of wins there. Remember he was leading in a McLaren. It was the last race. Was it his last race in a McLaren when it broke down?
Yeah.
And so Hamilton usually does quite well in Abu Dhabi. I'll say he'll win. I honestly think Verstappen's got the bit between his teeth and he's going to finish second. And third is really open to interpretation for anyone. I'll say Bottas just to keep it safe.
Not go for Sainz again?
No.
A number of times that people have gone for a Carlos Sainz podium this season, and then when it happens, nobody had gone for it.
Formula One has a tendency to build itself up just to let people down.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go for a Verstappen win. So all the way through off-season, people are going to talk about Verstappen being a
Verstappen's
title
back-to-back
contender,
wins.
and then he'll qualify 6th in Australia. So I'm going to go for a Verstappen win, Hamilton 2nd, and Albon 3rd. Because Albon deserves that podium.
Yeah, it'd be good to see Albon on the podium after what happened last
I
time.
am also planning on going for an Albon podium. I'm going to go for a Hamilton win, a Vettel 2nd, and a somehow Red Bull manufactured Albon 3rd.
Oh, do you think they'll throw Max under the bus slightly to get him up there?
It would be bad PR, wouldn't it, if they give Albon the Red Bull drive and then he's the only Red Bull owned driver of the season not to have a podium.
Only to nerds like us. I don't think the general
But we're
population
nerds.
think that. Well, yeah, but
We're nerds, and let's face it.
Yes.
The people listening to us, and certainly the people watching on YouTube,
yeah.
are of the same mindset.
I think to say that he's not the second best Red Bull driver, though, even
I know he's not, but I know he is, but you know what I mean.
Right, I am going for a Verstappen win, Bottas 2nd, and I'm going to join in with the Albon podium. And again, I think it'll be
an Albon party.
I like that.
No, you're having one of those on the 13th.
That's an Albon launch.
Well, we don't want to see one of those.
Hulkenberg to finish the race this time.
The right way up.
Didn't say that. If you want to join in, go to the website 3Legs4wheels.com. Got the games section, and you can do Grand Prix Prediction League. Put your top 3 in, and you get to choose pole and fastest lap as well. And you've got until 5 minutes before qualifying starts on Saturday.
Do you think Kubica will do anything like any sort of goodbye gestures? I mean, he can't wave, but you know, he might do something on the way in.
I'll just crash into the pit lane.
I'm going to go for mediocre donut.
World's
This
slowest
race is-
donut.
Yeah, I think a really bang average donut.
This
Do you
race
remember a
is
couple?
boring. Crash pit lane
In
exit.
fact, no, it was last year, wasn't it? Where you had, was it Hamilton and Vettel and Alonso all doing donuts?
Yes.
There's going to be some really average that with like Kubica and Hulkenberg.
Stroll just
Stroll just getting
drives
confused
through
and joining.
hey guys!
Ladies and gentlemen, the part of Ricardo Rossi this week is played by Lance Stroll. Just want to do, before we shunt it, I know it's going to be a short show tonight, but there's no news.
There's no news.
Oh, really?
Just want to do a quick shout out to the top 3 from Formula League. Last time we didn't have a chance to
Oh, we didn't do it last week.
get everyone's on there. 3rd place it was Carl Toomey. 2nd was Chris Olby, and the winner last week
Carl
was
Toomey's not a name, that's a command.
It's spelled differently. He's Irish. I've been given a pronunciation guide.
What do you think Carl Toomey is commanding someone to do?
Come, Carl. To me, Carl.
Carl Toomey!
You use it for when you're trying to get sheep and then you go, away to me, Carl, away to me, Carl.
Alessandro Popolani won last week, so anyway.
Well done, Alessandro.
Still one more week to go on the Abu Dhabi Challenge, which is in a Mercedes. You've got until next Monday to get your times in.
Who's champion or likely to win the championship this year?
Ooh.
That's the big question.
I feel
It's
sorry
a
for
two-way fight
anybody.
between Chris and Alessandro.
Chris
There-
Olby and Alessandro Popolani.
Yeah, there is only 8 points in it with 1 race left.
Oh,
Anyone that wins now is the loser because we've never had another helmet to give away.
No. Listen, sponsors, get your act together.
So we will try and get a new sponsor for next year's Formula League.
Yes.
I think we're going to be working this off season to actually get some sponsors.
That'd
and
be
maybe,
nice.
maybe, yes, and doing other things yet to be discussed.
Because we're going to be discussing them in the off season.
Yes.
Yeah.
But it's not the off season for
No.
us yet.
No,
For
it's
a
still
week.
season.
Yeah.
Yeah, we are still seasoning. It now needs to baste and steep for a bit. Let's shunt it.
Shunting time. You'd close that laptop down before YouTube accuses you of cheating.
For the benefit of YouTube, my laptop is closed.
And podcast listeners, of
This
course.
one was sent in on Instagram by M Strike.
Okay.
I think It's Strijk.
Marcel Streak.
Yeah, Marcel.
Regular Formula Leist.
Yeah, so I do hope I haven't done this one. I don't think I've done this one. He messaged me this morning and said, "Have you done mine?" I said, "No." And I realised how long ago it was, so I thought, best do
When did
yours.
Marcel send this one in, Lee?
He sent this one in
2014.
September.
Oh, okay. So it's been
That's-
stewing.
This year. Yeah.
That's not bad with some of the
No,
some of the archive ones that have been.
It's been a while. It keeps it exciting though. Keeps it exciting. I was born
Yay.
Mm-hmm.
in the summer of '65.
Oh, I like it. Very good. Summer of 65. Okay.
I participated in 2 Formula One seasons.
So a 54-year-old who probably took part in Formula One roughly 20 years ago. Roughly, perhaps.
You reckon? Could be maybe more like 30, depending on how old they were when they got
between
in.
20
Yeah.
and 30 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have won the 24 Hours of Hulkenberg.
Oh, good.
On his own, on an office chair with a wheel missing.
I'd like a guess, please.
I'll bet you would.
Mid-90s race driver who has won Le Mans.
Sorry, Jeff Sharp probably has an outstanding one from 2017. You're gonna have to find that again and send it to me, Jeff. I will do it next week. 2017 is beyond the pale of me not taking notice.
Pedro Lamy was in Formula One for a little bit and has won. I'm sure he's won Le Mans.
JJ Leto.
I think he did more than 2 seasons. He was kicking about for about 3 or 4.
Okay.
Just never did a full season because he kept getting binned.
Or drunk.
Yeah, he's finished.
Yeah.
Should we go Pedro Lamy first?
For now,
Can do.
yes.
Okay.
I started go-karting at the age of 17.
Ooh,
That
late.
was
Late.
remarkably
That
late.
would
Yeah.
explain why you only did 2 seasons in Formula One.
I entered 30 Formula One Grand Prix across 2 seasons. I did not score any Formula One points. I failed to qualify in my 6th Grand Prix. I'm not sure why all those were one question.
Failed to qualify. So could we be looking at somebody like Ricardo Rosset?
Well, failed to qualify. They stopped doing that, didn't they? In 95?
Was it early 90s?
94,
I thought it was a
95?
little
they,
bit
they
earlier
weren't,
than
they
95,
weren't one
but I could
question.
be
You
wrong.
need,
But
you need to give
Have
me
you
an
just
example.
read out 2 questions all as one?
97 was when they
107.
brought in the 107%.
Mm.
And it was about 94 when qualifying... You had to perform in qualifying to actually be able to get into the race because there was more entries than grid slots.
Mhm.
So,
As they were 3 thrown at you together, I'll read them again if you need me to.
Yes, please.
yes, please.
I entered 30 Formula One Grand Prix over 2 seasons. I did not score any points. I failed to qualify in 6 Grand Prix.
Well, JJ Leto did score points, so it's not him.
I reckon it's Ricardo Rosset.
Okay.
Possibly an outside shot of Tora Takagi. I think he was around for 2 seasons.
Did Toro Takagi's later than mid
I'm
90s?
not, not up on him.
He was towards the end of towards the end of Tyrrell, but I think he was there a little bit before. I think he was one of these Japanese pay drivers that had a year off. Oh, wasn't he going to be one of the drivers in Lola?
Maybe.
And then that doesn't count because they only did 1 qualifying session and they were utterly shit and then went bust.
Yeah.
Car looked nice.
Bit Lego-y.
MasterCard.
Don't know. Should we go Ricardo Rosset?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
I haven't got anything better.
I'm very experienced in sports car racing, and no, I'm not Brendan Hartley. Absolute super fan here. He's getting all the references and
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
He's been listening to us for ages.
Could be anyone.
Could be, still could be. Well, if you're experienced in sports car racing and you've won Le Mans twice, you're a good sports car driver.
Yeah. I raced in the same Formula One season as my brother.
Right. Okay.
Okay. I mean, Ralph Schumacher wasn't that bad.
And isn't that old?
He was literally the Ralph of Schumachers.
I'm going to change the last one because I think it gives it away.
I raced in
too
the same
easily.
Formula One season as my brother.
Not as is with his brother, not as his brother.
What he didn't? I think that's what we meant. I don't think we thought he entered under a pseudonym.
I can't think of
I'm struggling for brother F1 drivers.
Any Formula One season where two drivers had the same surname,
down the road of a terrible
other than Ralph and Michael Schumacher.
No. No, that's thrown me out completely.
Is it Gary Neville?
He hasn't scored any F1 points.
That is factually accurate, to be fair.
It could be Gary Paffett, and they're actually related by first name.
I'm not sure about him winning the 24 Hours of Le Mans.
No.
Well, why not? Hulkenberg did it by himself.
You have one more question, one more thing, but I'm going to change it because, like I said, I think it might make it too
okay.
obvious.
I think we need it.
Yeah,
Oh, there's a Spaffer as well.
I
Good.
think we might need that at this rate.
My teammate had a tragedy.
Who was driving
The other Simtech?
Was it Sciattarella?
Oh, God, it might have been.
Domenico Sciattarella? Was that his name?
Murray Walker, I was used to call him Mima.
Oh, Mimo. We'll go with Mimo Sciattarella here.
Are you finding Mimo?
Finding Mimo.
You have a Spaffer. Would you like the Spaffer before you give me your answer?
I think we would like
It's prompting
to
wise.
My father is a Formula One world champion. You might want to rethink your guess.
David Brabham.
Yeah.
About the right age.
Jack Brabham's a world champion. David Brabham's good in sport cars, not so good in Formula One.
And who was his brother? Or still is?
No idea.
Could it have been someone involved in the team rather than on the track, though?
Yeah, because Brabham, he did drive for Brabham Formula One team.
So it could have been brother team principal.
Likely across two seasons, 91, 92-ish. 92 was the last Brabham season, wasn't it?
I'm going to rush you because I'm sleepy.
I think David Brabham.
Go with that.
I'm David Brabham.
Yeah,
Hey.
for half
Nice
point
one.
Spaffer.
Well done, Chris, and thank you, Marcel. How do
cheers,
you shunt up?
You can send me a private message on Twitter or Instagram at @ATotalShunt.
You can also email them in to 3Legs4wheels@gmail.com. That's the address to send Formula Lee entries as well if you're on PC or Xbox. If you're on PlayStation, just send a friend request to Pabstar and I'll see them on the leaderboard. You can also get us individually on Twitter at
Flood21.
At Sean Cowper.
At Pablo100. Dan is at Dan Dankleton. And of course, we're at 3Legs4wheels, which we also are on Instagram and Facebook.
Yeah. I want to do a quick shout out as well that if any of you guys have been trying to get the hot lap and the Musty audio feed has stopped, it's because I've shifted hosts. So get in touch with me on Twitter or even a PM to us on Facebook and I can sort these out because maybe there's still a few outliers that I haven't sorted out yet.
Oh, the joys of host switching with anything. I do not envy you.
It's been remarkably easy going to Acast. It was much easier going to Acast than it was going from Buzzsprout to Spreaker. That was a twat.
Well, the good news for everyone listening to this is we're not moving. We're staying on our own server and we're doing our own content delivery.
Yeah.
Right. I'll be doing the qualifying blog as usual on Saturday. We'll have a full contingent for the Sunday for the race, and I think there will be some buffalo cauliflower.
I believe there is a plan for buffalo cauliflour.
And
I will be
the
well on
snack-
Twitter for
The
that.
snack of the season, I feel.
Yeah, it's got to be buffalo cauliflower. And seeing as I've gone out and got one of those cameras, shall we do a little video roundup at the end of the race?
A little post-season roundup, maybe. See how you're coping with the aftermath of
if I'm
cauliflower.
actually able to speak or sit down unaided.
Yeah, bring your cushions.
It's one of those rubber rings in an ice
The
pack,
ring
I think I needed
donut
after
thing.
last time.
Yes.
So yeah, we might do something. We might not. We'll see how it
Soundies.
goes. We'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.
Right, pod stopped.
That was healthy, Sean.
Yep, a lot going on in my throat.
For the benefit of Jana, yes, somebody was called Neville, and yes, somebody was called Neville.
Neville. The
Absolutely,
Nevilles.
yes.
Yeah.
Neville, yeah.
Neville, they named him
Well,
twice.
hang on. Gary Neville, Neville was their
Yeah.
father. Gary Neville and Phil Neville played for England football team.
Yes.
And Man
Tra-
United.
And Man United. Tracy Neville
Who is
played
Phil's twin.
who played netball for England and
Yes.
then coached the England
Yes.
women's netball team. Was it World Championship?
I think so, yes. And she's just stepped down because she's having a baby.
Yes.
Jana also says Chris's moustache makes him look like such a dad. He looks like he wears khakis and socks with sandals.
I wish I did.
I had your work colleague in doing a podcast with me on Friday, and nothing has confused my head more than male netball players.
Ah, yes. Apparently it is a thing. Very big in Australia, apparently.
Non-bouncing basketball.
Male netball.
A big market for it down under, according to Rianne.
Honestly, Jana, you need to look them up. The entire Neville family are available on Wikipedia.
Yeah, they are.
Not Neville net.
To
Neville.
Neville. Yeah, Gary Neville.
You
Gary
too
Neville was
can
part of
buy
the
a
management
Neville.
set up for England, wasn't he? Phil Neville is the women's England
He is.
football
women's
manager
coach.
now.
Yeah.
And Tracy Neville, as you said, Sean, has just stepped down from women's netball manager. So.
Yeah, and Gary was Roy Hodgson's assistant when
Yeah.
he was England manager.
Mm.
I need a lozenge.
I just had a lozenge.
Yeah, I'm going to have a lozenge.
Yeah, half rhymes with orange.
Any questions, YouTube contingent? Because we'll stick around for a bit.
We've got a
Yeah,
few
the podcast
minutes.
has finished recording.
What
so-
is netball? So it is. It's kind of like basketball, but you cannot move when you have the ball. So you can't dribble if you move your feet when you have the
YouTube
ball.
it,
You are
it's,
traveling.
It's ultimate frisbee with a ball instead of a frisbee.
Yeah, and it is predominantly a female sport. So
Yeah,
it's,
no,
it's
Glenn, it's not
seven
volleyball.
aside, not like volleyball, exactly like basketball, just less bouncing.
YouTube it after we stop going live, then you'll see what netball's about.
Yeah. So
It's
my
a slightly more strategic basketball.
my work colleague
It's like
Rianne,
real
who does
people Sabutio, but you throw the ball.
Yeah.
But yeah, my colleague Rianne, who does a lot of podcasting with Lee, also is one of the Isle of Man players. And yeah, they're kind of awesome. They're like 16th in the world or something like
Oh
that.
wow, very good.
That podcast was out this week, so they'll have listened to our
Right.
podcast.
For
There
Jennifer's
you go.
benefit, that is the biscuit of choice tonight. Cadbury's Choco Sandwich.
There
It is a
chocolate
highly
hobnobs, but
recommended
they haven't
business.
been opened.
Big
There's a load of
biscuit.
biscuits around the corner as well that we haven't eaten yet. I forgot. to
Good
put them
lord.
on
End of season biscuit fest next week.
Yeah.
Next week's podcast will be brought to you by lots of crunching noises.
It's
What does that say there?
Floods. I've just finished. I've just paused the laptop, and unfortunately, you look like you should come with the caption. Charles is still on the lodge, and the body of Mrs. May still hasn't been found yet.
Yeah, quite
That's fine.
Matt Steele, I'm driving in a 12-hour endurance car race next weekend and just consumed a gigantic plate of Mexican food. Good idea or not?
Coronation Street.
What?
He looks like Coronation Street Irishman.
Jim
Why are you
McDonald.
talking to me? I don't
Yes.
watch Coronation Street.
100 grand in the bag. No.
But yeah, I'm saying no good idea to large quantity of Mexican food before 12-hour endurance
You can have it
race.
now, but yeah, not right before.
No. You want to make sure it's clear of the pipes.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and do the Mexican food in celebration at the end of the race. Or indeed the Buffalo Cauliflower.
I didn't watch any wrestling this weekend. Mr. Merkman, I don't watch WWE anymore. I only watch AEW. I don't have time to watch anything else.
I don't think I've deliberately watched wrestling for about 6 months.
AEW is worth it. It's worth watching.
I haven't watched wrestling since 2008-ish.
As it turns out to be like 90% of my clothes, I think I'm wearing a Kenny Omega t-shirt.
Yeah, you are.
Ah.
Well, that one T-shirt is 90% of your clothes.
I've got
This is why you can't see his legs under the desk.
I've got two of them. I've got two of the same t-shirt.
No, I'm not gonna comment who would do that.
What?
I've got 2 identical Guns N' Roses T-shirts. One's got a back print, the other one hasn't.
I've got 2 identical Kenny Omega pops. One I kept in the box for posterity.
Ah.
Ooh, let's unpack him.
Watch Lee turn into something off The Big Bang Theory. Dives across the table. No.
Or Steve Carell in the 40-year-old version. Get rid of all of his action figures.
40-Year-Old Virgin was a good film.
Yeah, it's good, very good. I watched it recently actually, and forgot how good it actually
is. The chest waxing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Everybody knows now that it's a genuine reaction.
Why would anyone put themselves through that kind of pain?
I'd do it.
Hollywood money.
Well, yeah, I guess.
You could wax my chest with a fucking Pritt stick.
You could wax my chest with a candle, probably.
Yeah.
To be perfectly honest.
Wasn't that Madonna video that got banned?
Might be.
Do you want to have hair off? What have you got? What are you packing?
I've got none. Absolutely zero.
I've got that.
I've got less than that.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow. Your rug. Yeah. That's a semi-Ben.
You may need to explain.
Ben O'Hare is a hairy man. Hairy.
Is he hairy?
Yeah, his chest, it's like Tom Selleck type chest hairy stuff.
Really?
It's fucking great as well, because if you catch him right, you can get a really good grip and twist it, and it just cripples him.
I have a better story than this. When we were on holiday, our friend Andrea was swimming, and she accidentally brushed this guy in the pool who was that hairy she thought he had a jumper on. But she got her hand in the hair and then had to apologise to this guy who did not speak English and then had to float off without...
Handful of hair?
Yeah.
Oh,
he
God.
properly looked like he had a thick woolly jumper on.
The only way to describe him was wet Chewbacca.
A handful of hair is my new bass and drums duo.
Wet, hairy swimming man.
Wet Chewbacca is my new obscure punk band.
Has anyone seen Ford versus Ferrari? I haven't.
I'm going to see it next week, apparently.
Oh, is it coming out over here?
It's already here.
Oh, is it here?
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Shows how much attention I pay to all the local cinema listings that don't seem to be advertised anywhere.
Is it good
knowledge, Matt Steele? Yeah, it is called Le Mans 66.
I was going to say, we're not calling it Ford versus Ferrari.
Oh, is it
over
called
here.
Le Mans 66? Well, I didn't know that. That seems a misstep.
It is for the American audience, the Ford versus Ferrari.
But that seems like a better title.
Well, that's kind of what it was, but yeah. I don't think there's anything for British people to necessarily go and watch Ford versus Ferrari.
Yeah, I think this is a Philosopher's Stone, Sorcerer's Stone kind of deal.
Yeah.
So if it's out here, that's got potential for some point of the weekend.
Possibly the weekend. I think it's next week I'm going to see it, I think.
Not going to lie, not really interested.
It's a great story. I know the
it
story
looks
anyway,
awesome,
but I'm going to go and watch it.
I was just going to say Friday, but I can't. First of the two works Christmas dues.
Two?
We're having a team one and a company one.
Oh, I see. Yeah, a lot of offices do that, don't they?
Yeah, well, there's something like 300 people work for the company, so they've just booked the biggest venue on the island. And
we've only got 12 people work for the company. Yeah, we had a Christmas party for the people who can't make the main Christmas party, and I was like, well, tough. If you can't make the Christmas party, then you can't make it. Don't have a separate Christmas party just for these people.
Do they know it's Christmas? Well, apparently not.
Not especially when you go to an
Alright,
Asian...
Scrooge.
Not in the middle of November. Not having it, sorry.
Yeah, we're having the Christmas team do. We're all going out for sushi.
That
Good.
sounds cool. That sounds nice.
Yeah, everybody else was like, oh, there's this place, there's this place, there's this place. Why don't we go for sushi? Oh, never thought of that. Right, we'll do that. So, yes, sushi night on Friday. And it's the only decent sushi place we've got over here is also bring your own alcohol. And there's a couple of really good wine and beer shops around the corner. So it's going to be sushi and quality drinks.
Sushi's a good drinking food as well because it's light. No, it's not.
But it's absorbent as well.
It's dense, but you don't feel like bloated when you've eaten it. It's a good beer food.
Oh no! Kieran Thompson is helping to arrange a Christmas party for 180 people.
That sounds like a hassle.
Wow.
To be fair, he doesn't say people. He just says 180.
Maybe it's a darts tournament.
Yeah.
That does happen around Christmas.
Might be cats. I mean, to be fair, 180 cats would be pretty difficult to manage.
Yeah.
You're going to find it hard to get a venue anywhere.
Yeah.
But not fussy eaters.
Not fuss eaters.
Just give them sticky toffee pudding.
Yeah.
Rarely care about a bar either.
Yeah.
Unless, like Dizzy, you just provide plenty of glasses of Baileys for us.
Would you have like catnip fountains and stuff like that?
Could do, yeah.
Good luck with your phone interview, Glenn. That sounds like it could be a good one for you.
Jeff says I'm self-employed. My Christmas parties are pretty boring affairs. That's kind of been our works do for the last few
that's
years.
True.
I'm absolutely with you, Jeff. I haven't had a works do for years.
Jeff and Lee, what you should do is get together and have your Christmas party. Just
a little Skype
does
drinking
that
session.
mean I have to have my cry wank with somebody else?
Yeah.
Hey.
As long as Ferrari doesn't summon you in the middle of it.
Come over to the Isle of Man.
Yeah, as long as
crank
Maranello,
ourselves to death.
as long as Maranello doesn't summon you in the middle of it.
What? Oh. Gents.
Oh dear God. I think it's time to go home.
I think it is.
All to the home. Thank you everyone for joining us again tonight.
I hope,
Yeah,
I hope
thank
you feel better
you.
soon, Gemma. I've just seen your message there. I just saw you were in some pain recently.
Oh yeah, she had her tonsils taken out recently.
Just drink, be fine.
Apparently she doesn't drink. Take a moment to take that in.
Scottish person who doesn't drink.
That's the third Scottish
a
person
few of
I know
them,
that doesn't
strangely.
drink.
Lies, I'm out. So I can't deal with that. Scottish people who don't drink.
Oh, you really are out.
Oh, you've stood up and everything. Good lord.
Right, okay.
Refuse to believe that Scottish people don't drink.
Later.
Bye.
Bye. I'm other bits at the sea. There's a wave flood.
I'm waving, but you can't see me because you've...
No, he has. It's all on you.
Okay, fine. Hi.
Wave Paul. Wave Sean, that's Lee. Wave Lee. Right, bye bye.